going?
We are going.
We're going. We are going. Look at this. I am updating my Instagram social media posting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get questions all the time.
We
right?
get questions.
We get questions all the time.
All the time.
And wouldn't it be good for us to just kind of lay out some of these questions for our future customers?
Let's answer some questions, shall we?
Shall we answer some questions? Why don't we do that right now? You've got a list of questions, and in fact, I'm answering a question right now. Why don't we start with this one?
All right.
This is a crazy market, Todd. We get these questions all the time. Yeah, so what we thought we would do, I know we're just kind of backing up, but we get so many questions all the time that we thought we would just give you answers to questions we get almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions is, how long is this seller's market gonna last? Right?
That's a great question. We get that all the time. We get the question invariably, almost every other listing appointment: is the market going to crash? People have memories of 2006, 7, 8, that whole period, which was a very difficult time for real estate. Mm-hmm. And so that's a natural question to have. But really, there's a lot of things that have to fall in place to make something like that happen. Mm-hmm. And we don't see that happening at this point. Will the market slow down? Yes, it will. Market always fluctuates, and so you can expect it to go up and to go down. But as far as a crash, we don't see that on the horizon.
In fact, here's what I think is going to happen in 2022. And we're filming this here at the very beginning of 2022.
January. Mm-hmm.
December, all across the board.
Yeah.
In every market that we sell in, every market that we've talked to, was busier than ever before, which was a very unique closing month.
Yes.
I mean, it was one of our busiest months of the year. Again, unheard of. So knowing that all of those transactions now have closed out, we are now going to see a little bit of a lull in terms of closings this year. Mm-hmm. And so I think some of the newspaper articles might say that January sales have slowed tremendously, only because we had such an amazing December. Mm-hmm. When that happens, I'm not going to be alarmed. And you shouldn't either, because we're telling you it's happening right now.
Yeah, and one of the things that we'll see happen is more buyers might suddenly start to come to the market that decided to hang it up during the holiday season. That's not uncommon. And so come January, buyers are out there, and it's kind of like,
come on, let's go.
Where are the sellers? And sellers start to wake up as well. But sometimes it's just kind of like when you first change over the year, there's a lot of housekeeping that has to be done with any business, and so it's not like instantaneously all of a sudden it turns on. It takes a little bit of time for the engines to rev up.
That's right. But it is going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. This year is going to be crazy. And the other thing too to always think about, and we've written this in my blog post and in our newsletter before, is that it's really never a seller's market.
Yeah. No, it's all based on the buyer.
Exactly. It's never a seller's market. Yeah. It's always a buyer's market, and the buyer determines, are we paying more or less for that next house?
That's right.
So if all the buyers get together and decide, hey, we think prices are overpriced and we're going to just hold off a little bit, it immediately becomes, quote unquote, a buyer's market. Yeah. So it does fluctuate over time. Housing prices go up. Mm-hmm. They just do. They can't make enough to satisfy the needs, and there is not any more land being created. Yeah. Unless on the island of La Palma. Yeah, they created some, when the volcano was gone.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, ultimately the buyers are the ones that drive the pricing for the homes. If there are no buyers, then the buyers start to.
That's right.
Then the prices start to wane a little bit, and if the buyers are all out there and there's a lack of inventory, that's what really drives the prices up. But Aaron is correct. In long-term game, you always have to zoom out and see what the long-term game is, and really prices will continue to go up. And sometimes they fluctuate. Sometimes they go up really quickly, and sometimes they go up gradually. If they dip, they're not going to be dipping by 20-30%. They're going to be slight dips, and then they will continue to raise. So
that brings the next question, because the last time we saw the market crash, it did go down by 20-30%,
yes.
40%. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons we do not believe that that's going to happen again is because current buyers right now are putting significant down payments. Mm-hmm. And so we had a perfect storm, so to speak, back in 2007 with buyers that really didn't qualify but could get a loan, put zero money down, and then as soon as the market shifted sideways, they stopped making payments. Housing market crashes, and nobody can sell a home. I mean, we used to have short sales that would took 3 to 6 to 9 to months. The longest one I ever did, 22 months to do a short sale. It ain't short at all when it takes 22 months to get a house through the process. And so that just slowed the engine down, right? It slowed everything down. Well, right now, I just was watching a video, and on Monday, they gave us a report that said that less than only 1.6% of all homes with mortgages, not all homes, period, all homes with mortgages are in forbearance. And of the homes that are in forbearance, only 17% of those are actually in trouble. They're having problems. They're going to need some sort of assistance. That means that all of the rest of them, 83%, are either on a payment plan or are still making their payments. Pretty cool.
That's
so
great.
We don't foresee a huge short sale market, a huge REO market coming.
Yeah, that's a great sign for the market.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the biggest factor, and this is a question we get all the time, is where will interest rates be at the end of the year?
Yeah, and of course that does affect the rate at which the prices go up. And really, ultimately, Aaron's he's the expert when it comes to that. But what we do know is that rates do fluctuate with the market. And so, of course, rates are going up slightly. They could go down. But the trajectory that we're seeing for this year is that they will gradually increase over time.
Yeah, the Treasury is expected, the Fed is expected to raise rates 2, if not 3 times this year. And that has nothing to do with mortgage rates. But the general public tends to see them fluctuate together. They don't have say over what the mortgage rate that you're being offered actually is. That's a matter of competition. It's a matter of capitalistic markets. It's a matter of risk tolerance, all that kind of stuff that the banks go through. But they are all saying that interest rates are going to climb into the 3.5% to 4% range by the end of the year. And that will affect how much people can borrow. If you remember last year, Todd, we had pretty low interest rates in the high 2s, low 3s. In the year before that, in the middle of COVID, 2020, like the worst of it, we had interest rates in the low 2s for a 30-year fix. So we do expect that to have a little bit of tampering effect on prices, but not demand, because people still want housing. And the work from home environment, Todd, has totally created this idea that we need a good house to live in, because we're not working away from the home anymore. Many people are now working in the home, and they looked up and they're like, oh my word, like I live here. Like I need to fix this place up. I want to make sure it's special.
You're going to be
me
stuck there
and my
all
family.
day.
Yeah, right.
Stuck there all day long.
Yeah.
And you want to
So-
like the place that you're stuck.
So demand for housing has just gone
That's right.
through the roof because of that.
That's right.
So, all right, some more questions.
This is one that we get a lot. I want to sell my home, but I'm scared that if I sell my house, I'm not going to be able to find a replacement home.
You know, that is a completely valid fear and a reality. There are, however, strategies to make sure that we don't let that happen. So one of the ways we do that is we work with our sellers to make sure that they have a contingency in place that allows them to back out of their property sale if they can't find a replacement home. Is that tragic for the buyer who's buying their home? It actually is. I mean, it can be very damaging financially, emotionally, but from a legal standpoint and from a technical standpoint, we have all the contracts to protect the seller's interest should they need to sell and buy a replacement home simultaneously. So I would not let that be a worry or a fear unless you don't put the proper safeguards in place to make sure that you're not forced out of your house.
We don't ever want you to be in a position where you're going to be homeless, and you never will be, as long as those safeguards are put in place.
All right.
I have another one.
Yes.
Another one. Should I remodel the kitchen and bathroom before I sell the home?
All right, so that's a great question. We see all these HGTV shows, right? We see these shows where people want to buy a home that's beautiful, and that has really set the expectation that buyers have. They want to walk into a home and not have to do anything. On the flip side, some people say they want to roll up their sleeves and make it their own, but again, the TV shows make it seem like behind every cabinet that needs to be remodeled is like a gaping hole with water damage and something like that, right? And so it's totally just exaggerated for dramatic purposes for TV, but we do see that there is a benefit for a seller who not only has the budget, but also the time to do that. Now, it's important to understand when you're doing a remodel like this, you're not doing it for your tastes and your likes. And so you may have a choice between two doorknobs, right? And one pull is $12 each. And yes, they can be 12, 20, 30, 40 bucks for those little pulls. And you have one that's $5. Well, you add that up, you got 65 door pulls in your kitchen. I mean, that's a $5,000 decision or a $1,000 decision. If you're remodeling to sell it, make the $1,000 decision. Don't overspend, because you're not going to get the effective, additional revenue from your sale because you spent extra money picking the perfect knobs. So if you can do it within a reasonable budget, we definitely think it benefits. Bathrooms as well, But if you're looking at only doing the bathrooms and the kitchens, Todd, and not touching anything else, leaving the old dirty carpet, leaving the walls dirty in the living room, or whatever the case may be, don't do it. Don't do it. In fact, do the opposite. We believe that if you're going to do anything, do paint and carpet.
Start with and those are the easiest ones and the most affordable ones to do. You want to start with the surfaces, because that's what people are going to immediately see when they walk into the home. They're going to see the floor, the condition of the floor. Even paint. A lot of people, a lot of buyers lack the imagination of knowing they can repaint the house, so paint. And of course, we do recommend, if the ceiling has acoustic, we do recommend considering scraping that, because once again, you're thinking in terms of the mind of a buyer, and a buyer is assuming the worst case scenario in all cases. And so they're going to think there's asbestos and all these issues that are going to affect their health. So it's best to knock those things down first. And that will really maximize the value of the home when it comes to sell it. And then, of course, look at some of those higher ticket items, such as the kitchen. But the goal is to not blow out the budget where you don't need to.
Don't spend $60,000 on a $30,000 kitchen. Right? Don't spend $25,000 on a bathroom remodel when you can get it done for $10. Those are the kind of things. So yes, if you want to be the person that benefits from the profit, yes, if you're good at controlling your budget, yes, if you're willing to do the other things that come along with opening that Pandora's box. Because once you got a brand new kitchen, you might want to redo the windows, you might want to redo it just kind of goes on from there. So you want to make sure that your home overall has a look and feel and appeal that makes your buyers fall in love with it.
So how much should somebody expect to spend in renovating a home? I mean, that's a difficult question, because you could have a small house.
I may know about interest rates, about the general economy. I cannot tell you how much someone should spend on a home.
The bottom line is
the budget.
It really depends on the budget, and of course, it's all going to depend on the house as well and what needs to be done.
We have a 2-bedroom coming up, right?
Yes, we do.
And it's going to be roughly $700,000. She's not going to spend $100,000 on her kitchen.
No.
But if we got a $1.6 million house coming up, and we need to move some walls, and that kitchen is dated because it was built in the 80s, it might be worth $100,000 to put into that kitchen remodel. Because that adds another $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 in the value, because now the whole entire kitchen living room layout has been brought into modern standards.
That's right.
So you really have to weigh the cost benefit.
You have to think about what the buyer's coming in, because the buyer's coming in also estimating what they're going to have to spend to get it up to their living standards. So those things are to be considered. Another question, this reminds me of another question that we oftentimes get, is we're talking about renovating the home. Do the Ball brothers, do you have people that can help us with that? Do you have somebody who can do the carpet and painting and all that?
We have nobody. We've been doing this business for a long time, and we've been blessed. Yes, we have a lot of connections, and we literally, from the roof to the foundation, have vendors that we've worked with, that we've vetted. And when we're working with a client, we know we're going to help them sell the home. We want to make sure that work is done by a qualified individual, and so we do recommend people that we have worked with in the past.
That's right.
All right. Do we have people here? Are they here?
We have an appointment coming up.
Are they here?
I don't know if they're here.
See, this is good right here. I mean, it's practically live, right? You want me to go check? You want to go check?
Yeah, let me go check.
Okay, you go check. I'm going to answer another question. So while Todd is checking on our appointment, that's funny. Hey, this is what we do, right? All day long. Double check on things. We answered the question we're looking at. Honestly, I've got a bunch of questions here. people ask us, where do you sell properties? Todd, where do we sell properties? Oh, wait a minute. Let me answer this one because I like answering this question. Realistically, on the border of Mexico, to the border of Oregon, to the Pacific Ocean, to the border of Nevada and California. We have sold properties in Chula Vista, on the ocean, in Blythe. We've also sold properties 4 miles from the Oregon border. I mean, we typically will list homes wherever they are in California. And if we do need a local representative, we will work in tandem with a local person, but we literally can take our services,
That's right.
our marketing strategies, our process that we use exclusively for the Bald Brothers team and our clients, and we can apply that anywhere.
Yep.
The same math that works in Southern California works in Northern California. So
That's
that
right.
is something that most people don't realize, is that there's really no place too far. I represented a buyer in Napa.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I flew up there. We did the whole process.
It was a hard life for him having to fly all the way up to Napa and close the deal.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I've sold properties near Fresno. We've sold properties in Lodi. We've sold properties all over California. So it's something we definitely are familiar with.
Yep, absolutely.
Other clients here?
Our clients are here.
Fantastic. Well, we don't want to keep them waiting.
Yeah.
Let's answer one more question.
Okay, let's see. I have a question.
Yes.
We get this question. Do you work with buyers?
Yes, that's a great question. And the answer is yes, we do work with buyers. Unlike sellers, we do not represent buyers typically way far out of the area unless they are a pre-existing client like the one I represented in Napa. We had a great relationship. I'd sold their house here. They wanted us to represent them there. And they did all the research and they were very comfortable with that purchase. We helped negotiate it. But for the most part, the buyers we work with are in Southern California.
That's
And
right.
even if you and I, Todd, do not work with them personally, we do have a buyer's team of people that absolutely love and know the neighborhoods where our clients are looking. So they come to us. If you have a specific territory you're looking in, we assign somebody from the Bald Brothers team that we know knows that area better than Todd and I do. And ultimately, it really for us, when we work with buyers and or sellers, we want you to get the best service. And frankly, when Todd and I are working on selling a lot of homes on the listing side, it is better to have one of our teammates represent you in the purchase side because they're going to be more readily available. They're going to be out there on the weekend. They're going to be hunting down that house for you, with you, making those offers. And I liken it to kind of a restaurant. The person that comes and takes your order at the table is also not the person that's behind the stove, right, in the kitchen. They don't run back there, take off the thing, put on an apron, put on a different hat, start cooking everything up, and then they run out front again and they take, there's different roles that we play because we know that's going to deliver the best result.
That's right.
And so that's what we want for all of our clients. And we've got to go.
Yeah.
We've got our wonderful clients here. One of them, which may be joining our team.
Yeah.
Actually,
we shall see.
Yeah. So you never know. When you work with us, you might come work for us someday, right?
We'd love to do it.
I don't know, right?
That's right.
Well, God bless you. Thanks for watching this really long video. You've got other questions that we have not answered. And we want you to comment. We want you to email us. We want you to tell us really what things are on your mind so that we can answer your questions. We really enjoy it. We love what we do. We love helping people. And we're super excited about 2022 and what it holds. And so if that includes you and your plans for selling, please give us a call. Call us at 800. No, not 800. We changed it. 833 305 BALD.
BALD.
833-305 BALD, BALD. And we look forward to talking to you soon. God bless.